hey.
You gotta think about it. Think about it.
Game Girl, Game Boy,
Superstar DJs. Here we go.
Hey guys, I hope you're all well. I've just done a VR to X-Files 2708, about 10 films that I own but haven't seen. So depending on the order I upload these videos, it may or may not be on the channel. But if you get a chance, yeah, please check that one out and check his channel out as well, because it's awesome. This VR is a bit of an overdue one to Roger Retro Gamer, slightly off the cuff in terms of I've got the questions in my mind, but not necessarily the answers. The only thing I've prepared is a nice cool glass of Vimto, and it's a hot bloody evening, so I've nearly done my pint already. Shameful, Roger, shameful. So just wet the throat. So yeah, Roger, Retro Gamer. I'll put his channel details in the description. I'm sure pretty much most of you, if not all of you, already subscribe to his channel. But if you don't for some ludicrous reason, then please go and check out his content. He's recently hit the 1K subscriber mark, kind of thrashed that milestone, and bloody well deserved, because he tells a good story from the heart. It's 110%. Yeah, his personality, the way he conveys stuff, it's just an absolute bloody joy to watch. So I really love the day that the notification bell pings to say that he has uploaded a video, because it's always a good one. But your details will be in the description. So this one is all around collecting, and I probably should have scribbled down the questions, but I think the questions are roughly around: what do you collect? What do you think your collecting habits will be in 10 years? What's good about collecting? And what's not so good? Well, what's bad about collecting? I'm going like this not because I'm yawning. I think I just got the old the Vimto fruity burps coming up, which is rather pleasant. Not. So yeah, in terms of what I collect, crumbs. It is really a bit of everything. From not just video games, but I look around. There's just video games, films, DVDs, cards, books, vintage toys, coins, sticker albums, pretty much to varying degrees. I mean, there's some things like video games and films are the ones which I probably put most of my effort and any available kind of money into. The others, might be a bit of a pick up here and there, maybe not as kind of calculated or planned with those. But I do collect a bit of everything, board games as well. My general rule of thumb is that I collect stuff that is that I either had as a kid and got rid of, or my mum and dad got rid of, or was sold on by them or by me, or alternatively things that I wanted. So I might have seen in one of the shopping catalogues, Argos, for folks in the UK, or my friends may have had, or someone at school had, or I kind of read about and I wanted, but I just didn't. So that's the kind of general rule. But do I stick to that all the time? No, I do deviate a fair bit, and things are kind of as organised as they can be in the constraints. Obviously, only having so much space. But there's a few things in storage, kind of more in the kind of loft and boxed up and put away. I'd like, if we ever manage to get a bigger place, we'd like to get them on display and kind of enjoy them a bit more. I wouldn't want to kind of get rid of stuff. I always get that kind of regret when you move certain things on if you haven't really thought it through. But we'd like to show a few more things from the collection. And I am recently done a pickups video, and it was a bit of a monster. It's kind of birthday money and holiday and visiting like an awesome retro gaming place up in Scotland, and just trying to focus a bit on some collectors. Well, it was a few things in there, but I think you're going forward, and I might come across like a bloody hypocrite, or time will tell. I see myself maybe focusing on certain things, and I've now been building up the last few weeks more of a list on my phone, broken into, say for video gaming, Master System. Okay, there's like a handful of particular games and Game Gear, a couple of like loose carts and blah 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 blah. Trying to stick to that as opposed to going too crazy. So doing a bit of that, and then as focusing on stuff I call it like picked up stuff I've already got in the collection, but because the channel's been going 4 or 5 years and I've been collecting 40 plus years, and there's a lot of things which I unless they kind of appeared in they bought in the last 5 years, or alternatively appear in a, say, a room tour or something like that, then they wouldn't have been shown, they wouldn't have been spoken about, and some stuff, like I say, is more kind of stored away. So certainly hasn't been shown. So I'm probably going to focus a bit more on that piece. And that was a real ramble, wasn't it, for the first, that's my kind of modus operandi, is just to kind of ramble out BS. I think that was the first question. The second one was like, what kind of collecting habits will you still be collecting in 10 years? And the answer is yes. Again, I think the collecting is in the DNA. And will I just stop collecting full stop? I doubt it very much. It might be of a smaller scale, it might be on a larger scale, it might be on something completely different. I suspect I'll be looking for things. I do find it, perhaps, a few of you guys may do as well, but just enjoy learning about things, going down little rabbit holes and kind of investigating, and then having to hunt things down, and then having to trying to get them for a good price, and then trying to work out how do you get it kind of complete. And it's I think it's good for, be it, obviously we'll come on to the pros and cons. There's obviously a money factor involved. I think it's quite good for, in my opinion anyway, if you do it right, kind of mental health, and just keeping learning about things. Good for your personal development and all that cheesy cheese. Yeah, just kind of learning and using one's noggins. I don't think that can be a bad thing. So yeah, we'll see if this YouTube's still going, let alone this YouTube channel in 10 years. Then maybe, yeah, I'll find out at the same time as you guys. We'll see. And then, yeah, good things about collecting. Kind of touched on it already, or some of the points anyway. In terms of, I do think it's good for the mental health, good for learning about new things. Really good for that kind of that interaction, and I think like COVID times and all of that, where people did want a bit more networking. I just wanted to kind of have chat with like-minded people, and then we saw collecting a rise in YouTube channels and kind of interaction that way. I do think a good positive from collecting, regardless of COVID, is that it gets you talking and meeting people that in all likelihood are into similar things that you are, but aren't necessarily in the same kind of street or even the same town or country. They could be all over the shop. I think that's a really good thing, and certainly I've built up a lot of a lot of real friendships, even genuine friendships with people that I haven't yet met. And I say yet because hopefully I'll be able to meet more and more people as time moves on. I'm crunching through the UK, perhaps a trip elsewhere over the years, get to the States or something like that, or attend a big gaming festival, gaming market out in the US. That'd be probably a bit pie in the sky, maybe a bit wishful thinking, but never say never. But yeah, the people side, absolutely awesome. And then, yeah, what I'm thinking about the not so good, the bad, or the kind of the adverse. Like from a monetary, perspective, it can be, it's a bit of a pro and a con. If you do it in the right way and you're kind of going after things that you can afford to, go after, you're getting things for a decent price, then cool. But there's always that risk. You can, some people may not kind of overstretch, or these things most of them aren't getting any cheaper. it's a bit like, it's a bit of a stock market, isn't it? No one can kind of guess where, a bit of a UK centric point to make, but where CEX prices are going to go, and what is the next game that's going to go over 100 quid or over 500 quid, or a game that's worth 50 quid now, but in a year or so time might be worth 5 or 10 quid. It's all a bit of a a stock market. You need a bloody crystal ball to be able to work it out. But I think as prices go up, and then there's that high risk that people can maybe overcommit to stuff, or equally get could get a bit kind of down if there's certain things now which they kind of would like but just can't afford. And I put myself in that bracket for Star Wars was my main collecting. As a point, I was more collecting harder for Star Wars than I was for video games, and pretty much anything else. And the prices were fairly, I'd say, like normal. They weren't like crazy, even for like carded figures. It wasn't astronomical. And I've got a big Star Wars collection, like the vintage. I say it's mainly the vintage stuff. I didn't get anything episode 1. Past that, most of my bits are from the original, toy lines relating to the original three films, and clothes and other bits, and stuff like that. But there's certain subsets within that collection which I now I either can't afford or I could afford, but I would be castrated by my wife, and I'd be a complete fool to be kind of shelling out that kind of money for something like that. So it's annoying in some respects, because I just think like some of them I'm like 95% there, and like 1 or 2 figures to do it. But am I going to spend some of the hundreds and hundreds on something? No, I'm not. So that can be a bit of a downside. And I think it was Roger himself who touched on it, but there's that kind of, where there's increased value in stuff, it brings along the knobhead, fraudsters, or people just trying to make a buck, make a pound, or far more than that from just being absolute dicks. So I mean, it depends what it is, but say in the video game world, I mean, like fake inlays, fake fucking Pokemon cards and stuff like that. In the toy world, Star Wars is notorious for having, I think through 3D printing, it's made all the more straightforward. But fake weapons like some of the lightsabers and some of the rifles can go for a lot of money. And equally, a bit like you've got a game which has got the box and the manual, the Star Wars figure, if it's it's got the cape and it's got the lightsaber or the original weapon, it can do a lot to the price. So yeah, people doing that isn't a great thing. It's probably more, if I'd been a bit more organised, I would have jotted some stuff down. But that's kind of my off the cuff response. But yeah, any thoughts? Chuck them in the comments, please. Would always appreciate that. Go and check out Roger's channel. If you've got your own YouTube channel, and you've got a bit of time, a few minutes to do a VR, then I'm sure he'd love that, as would I. I'd certainly watch that. So if you do, then tag me or give me a shout, and I'll be watching it. Speak very soon. Cheers.